Hello students, welcome to Standard 8th Mathematics Chapter 1 Rational Numbers. In this chapter we are going to have some important topics that I am going to discuss over now. The topics in this chapter are types of numbers, what are rational numbers, types of properties of rational numbers, additive inverse, multiplicative inverse, rational number on number line, and rational numbers between two rational numbers. Before we start this chapter of rational number, let us first understand and let us have a recap of our previous class, that what exactly and how many types of numbers are there in this mathematics. So mathematicians have taken all the numbers in the world and sorted them into categories based on their characteristics. So there are different types of numbers. If we talk about different types of numbers as per your topic, first you have studied natural numbers, which starts from 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n numbers, means infinite. The second topic, whole numbers, that starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 to infinite. The third that you have studied in the previous classes, that is integers, all the positive, negative and 0. Means all the positive numbers, negative numbers and 0 are included in integers. And this fourth rational number that you are going to learn in this chapter, here we are going to talk specially about rational numbers, as this chapter is all about rational numbers. So my dear friends, let's first understand what the meaning of rational is. As it is the name of the chapter, rational number, we should first understand what exactly the meaning of rational is. The name rational is based on the word ratio. A ratio is a comparison of two or more numbers and is often written as a fraction. A number is considered a rational number if it can be written as one integer divided by another integer. Sometimes this is referred to as a simple fraction. I hope you might have understood what a rational number means. So my dear friends, now here we come to the definition of rational number. What are rational numbers? Any number is called a rational number if it can be expressed in P upon Q form, where P and Q are integers and Q is always greater than 0. Let's see a few examples of rational numbers. Suppose if I say number 1 upon 2 is a rational number, number 1 upon 2 is a rational number because it is written as integer 1 divided by integer 2. So it is a rational number. Now if we take another example, if I say number 5 is a rational number, yes, it is a rational number, but we can write it as 5 upon 1. So now here it becomes a rational number. We can also write 15 by 3 or 50 by 10. This both are rational number and they both have the same answer. You can see both are equal to 5. So this means that natural number, whole number and integer are all part of rational numbers as well, because they can be written as fractions. Rational numbers can be positive, rational numbers can be negative, and rational number can be a 0. Let's see few examples of it. So positive rational numbers, if I write 5 upon 7, this is a positive rational number. Whereas negative rational number, let's take an example of minus 5 upon 7. When we write a negative rational number, we put the negative sign either out in the front of a fraction or with the numerator. So here I have kept the negative sign with the numerator. You can also write it in this way, minus 5 upon 7. So my dear friends, as mentioned earlier, that natural numbers, whole numbers and integer are also rational numbers because they can be written as a fraction. The simplest way to do is to put the number over 1. For example, if we write 3, if I want to convert this 3 into a rational number, it can be written as 3 upon 1. If there is minus 3, this can be also converted into a fraction, or you can say as a rational number as minus 3 upon 1. We can also write 0 into a rational number, 0 as 0 upon 1. Therefore, we can say that all these numbers are rational numbers. I hope now you have understood and have got a clear idea what exactly is rational number. Now my dear students, we are going to take the next topic, that is properties of rational numbers. There are some properties of rational numbers like closure property, commutative property, associative property and distributive property. We are going to explore all these properties one by one on the 4 binary operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So let's start with the closure property, that is properties, closure property. In that, our first binary operation that we are going to take is addition. As I said earlier, any rational number when it is added by the another rational number. For example, as I have taken a upon b plus c upon d. Here with an example I am going to show you that 6 upon 9, that is a upon b, a is 6, b is 9, plus 2 upon 9, here 2 is c and 9 is d. So if we add a upon b plus c upon d, that is equals to 6 upon 9 plus 2 upon 9, that gives me 6 plus 2 as 8, and here denominator is same, so it remains 9. So my answer is 8 upon 9. So my dear friends, let's begin with the second binary operation of closure property, subtraction. The difference between any two rational number is always a rational number. If we say A upon B and C upon D are two rational numbers, then we can say as A upon B minus C upon D is also a rational number. Let's have an example and let's see with this example. I have written 3 upon 5 minus 1 upon 5. Here denominator is same, so denominator is going to be remain same as 5. 3 minus 1, that is 2. So we got 2 upon 5. It is a rational number, and yes, closure property for subtraction is applicable. In the same way, let's go for the multiplication. The product of two rational number is also a rational number. Is always a rational number. If A upon B multiplied by C upon D, then let's see with an example. 6 upon 4 multiplied by 2 upon 3, that is equals to 6 2s are 12 and 4 3s are 12. So it's 12 upon 12 is 1. Yes, and 1 is also a rational number. If I write 1 upon 1, it's a rational number. Yes, and multiplication in closure property is also applicable, and yes, it shows and it gives a rational number. Let's go on to the last of the closure property, that is division. A upon B divided by C upon D. Here the collection of non-zero rational number is closed under division. If A upon B and C upon D are two rational numbers such that C upon D is not equal to 0, then and then only A upon B divided by C upon D is always a rational number. If I take an example, that is 2 upon 3 divided by 1 upon 3. It can be written as 2 upon 3 multiplied by 3 upon 1, and what I'm going to get, this is 2, 1 2s are 2, and my answer is 2. I can write this number as 2 upon 1, and yes, I got a rational number. So division is also applicable in closure property to have a rational number, but at one condition, that here in division C or D should not be 0. It should be always greater than 0. Now the second property, that is commutative property. Before starting this property, I would like to explain you the word commute. The word commutative comes from commute or move around. So the commutative property is one that refers to moving stuff around. For addition, the rule is A plus B equals to B plus A. A plus B is equals to B plus A. Suppose if I take A as 5 and B as 2, so this 5 plus 2 is equals to 2 plus 5. Both the answer is same. This is, we are interchanging the number, the position of the number. This is called the commutative property. And now let's see the effect of the commutative property in rational numbers. Addition of commutative property. Addition of two rational number is commutative if a upon b plus c upon d is equals to c upon d plus a upon b. With an example, let's understand this. 2 upon 5 plus 4 upon 5 is equals to 6 upon 5. I can also write in the same by changing the positions. 4 upon 5 plus 2 upon 5 is also equals to 6 upon 5. So yes, commutative property in rational number is applicable. Yes. Now the same, let's check subtraction in commutative property. So a upon b minus c upon d. If we change the positions, c upon d minus a upon b. By changing the position, let's understand it by an example. 1 upon 5 minus 3 upon 5 is equals to minus 2 upon 5. So 1 minus 3, that is going to lead to minus 2, and this 5 is same, so minus 2 upon 5. And by changing the position, 3 upon 5 minus 1 upon 5 gives me 2 upon 5. So here both the answer is different. This is minus 2, this is plus 2. So no, subtraction in commutative property is not possible. This is not applicable in subtraction in commutative property. Now let's see multiplication in the commutative property. Is it possible that if we change the positions of the numbers, do we get the same answer? Let's check it out. Multiplication, commutative property, a upon b multiply by c upon d is equals to, we are changing the position now, c upon d multiply by a upon b. With an example, let's understand. 1 upon 4 multiply by 2 upon 3 is equals to 1 2s are 2 and 4 3s are 12. Now by changing the positions of the numbers, 2 upon 3, as you can see, c upon d, 2 upon 3 multiply by 1 upon 4, 2 1s are 2 and 3 4s are 12. Here both the answers are same, so we can say that yes, multiplication in commutative property is applicable. Let's go for the division. As for every property, we are checking the binary properties. Division in commutative property, a upon b divided by c upon d. While changing the positions, c upon d divided by a upon b, let's have an example. 6 upon 4 divided by 2 upon 3. Now by changing the position, 2 upon 3 divided by 6 upon 4, what we are going to get? 6 upon 4 multiply by, we are just flipping the numbers and we are changing the sign, multiply by 3 upon 2, as this we have studied in the previous class how to do this. 2 upon 3 multiply by 4 upon 6. This is 18 upon 8 and this is 8 upon 18. 6 3s are 18 and 4 2s are 8, and here we are getting 2 4s are 8 and 6 3 6 are 18. So the answer is totally different. So this is 8 upon 18 18 upon 8 and this is 8 upon 18. So both the answers are not same, so their division is not applicable in commutative property. Therefore we can say as a conclusion in the commutative property that commutative property is applicable in just addition and multiplication, and it is not applicable in subtraction and division. Let's move on to the another property, that is the third property, associative property. The associative property states that you can add or multiply regardless of how the numbers are grouped. By group we mean how you use parentheses. In the other words, if you are adding or multiplying, it does not matter where you put the parentheses. Let's see by an example. Now we are going to add three numbers. A, B and C are the three numbers. Suppose if I take A as 2, B as 3 and C as 5, I'm going to get the answer as 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5 is equals to 10. Now let's see the same by grouping 2 together, and what's the answer? If I group 2 plus 3, the answer is 5 plus 5, this is 10. So answer is same. If I group the last two one, that is 2 plus 3 plus 5, so 2 plus 3 plus 5, this is 8 plus 2, 10. So I am getting all these three answers same. So associative property states that you can add or multiply regardlessly how the numbers are grouped. So now associative property with addition of the rational numbers, A upon B plus C upon D plus E upon F. Here we are taking three rational numbers and I have made a group of two. Let's see with an example. A upon B plus C upon D plus E upon F. The C upon D and E upon F is a group, and in the second I have changed the group, A upon B plus C upon D and plus E upon F. In addition, the result is going to come same. So we can say that associative property in addition, yes, it is applicable. Whereas in the subtraction, associative property for subtraction is not applicable, because when we make group of any two, answer is not going to come same. We can directly say that A upon B minus C upon D minus E upon F is not equal to A upon B minus C upon D minus E upon F. Now associative property for multiplication, yes, now you can easily understand that what I am going to say. If you make a group of any of this two, for example A upon B and C upon D, and keeping separate E upon F, is exactly same as A upon B multiplied by a group of C upon D and E upon F. But it is not applicable. Associative property is not applicable in division. A upon B divided by C upon D divided by E upon F. So you can see in the example that A upon B divided by C upon D, it's a group, divided by E upon F is not equal to A upon B divided by C upon D divided by E upon F. So at the end, for the associative property, we can say that in associative property, it is applicable in addition and multiplication, and it is not applicable in subtraction and division. Let's talk about the fourth property, that is distributive property. So distributive property, let's see how it works on rational numbers. A upon B. Here there is no sign in between the bracket and the rational number, so it clearly says that it is a multiplication. As this we have studied in the previous class, that if there is no sign between a number and a bracket, it means there is a multiplication sign. So A upon B multiplied by C upon D plus E upon F. Now in distributive property, A upon B is to be multiplied by C upon D, and also A upon B is to be multiplied with E upon F. So it can be written as A upon B multiplied by C upon D. This you can see over here that I have made an arrow. A upon B multiplied by C upon D, and this plus sign is over here, plus again A upon B multiplied by E upon F. A upon B multiplied by E upon F. And same for the negative, just change the sign. If there is a negative over here, just change the sign over here, put minus sign over here, and you will get the answer. So we can say that distributive property works, and it is applicable for addition and subtraction. Now our next topic is additive inverse. First of all, let us understand what is additive inverse. In mathematics, the additive inverse of a number A is the number that when added to A gives 0. Again I am saying, you listen it very carefully. In mathematics, the additive inverse of a number A is the number that when added to A gives 0. So the answer will be 0. This number is also known as the opposite number. I will give you an example, but first let's understand theoretically. This number is also known as an opposite number, as I said. You can say as sign change and negation for the real number. It reverses its sign. The opposite to positive number is negative, and the opposite to a negative number is a positive. Let's see with an example. If I say P upon Q, what will be the additive inverse of P upon Q? That is minus P upon Q. In the same way, minus A upon B, what will be the additive inverse of it? Is equals to A upon B. Let's see another example that I have written for an additive inverse. If suppose I have 3 upon 5 as a rational number, what will be the additive inverse of 3 upon? So the additive inverse of 3 upon 5 is equals to minus 3 upon 5. In the same way, for this example, minus 2 upon 4 is a rational number. What will be the additive inverse of this number? So it is equals to 2 upon 4. So as I said, the opposite to a positive number is a negative. The opposite to a positive number is to a negative, and the opposite to a negative number is positive. In other simple words, we can say that the additive inverse is just change the positive to negative and negative to positive number. Now what will be the additive inverse of 0? There can be question like this. So we can say that the additive inverse of 0 is 0 itself. You cannot write 0 as negative because 0 is not negative nor positive. 0 is a neutral number. Now let's move on to our next topic, that is multiplicative inverse. In other words, we also say as a reciprocal. So multiplicative inverse or reciprocal, you can say. Before starting multiplicative inverse, or in other words we say as reciprocal, what exactly is the multiplicative inverse? First of all, we should understand what is multiplicative inverse. A multiplicative inverse is a reciprocal. Now again, what is a reciprocal? A reciprocal is one of a pair of numbers that when multiplied with another number gives me the answer or is equals to the number 1. So in simple form we can say as, for example, if we have the number 7, then the multiplicative inverse of the reciprocal would be 1 upon 7. Now let's see how. As I said, number 7, if I have a number 7, what will be the multiplicative inverse of this number 7? So you can say as a multiplicative inverse or a reciprocal would be 1 upon 7. So 7 multiplied by 1 upon 7, and if we cancel it out we get answer as 1, because when you multiply 7 and 1 upon 7 together you get 1 as an answer. Let's see some more example of multiplicative inverse, or you can say as reciprocal. What will be the reciprocal of 2 upon 3? It is equals to, you can say as it is 3 by 2. Another, what is the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse of 1 upon 3? It is just 3, because 3 upon 1 is 3. What is the reciprocal or multiplicative inverse of 1? 1 is 1. My dear students, I hope now you have understood all these properties: additive inverse, multiplicative inverse. So now let's move on to the another topic. Topic number 6, rational numbers on number line. Number line. You have studied number line in standard 6. Now in this class, standard 8, we are going to use number line to put rational numbers on it. Up till now you have kept only integers, means positive, negative and 0 on number line. In this class we are going to plot rational numbers on number line. Rational numbers can be easily represented on number line by just following some simple steps. Representation on number line depends upon the type of rational number, or you can say as fraction, is to be represented on the line. There are certain important points that you should remember while plotting rational numbers on the number line. But before going to the number line, don't forget to check for the negative and the positive sign of a rational number. That is the most important thing, and students make a lot of mistake while plotting rational numbers on number line, and they don't check that the rational number is negative or positive. As we all know, and as you have studied, that positive rational numbers are always represented on the right side of the 0, on the number line, while negative rational numbers are always represented on the left side of the 0 on the number line. My dear friends, this is the number line that you have studied in your previous class. This is 0, and these are the positive numbers which is on the right side of your number line, and these are the negative numbers which is on your left side of the number line, and this is the 0 which is in the center of the number line. Now this what you have studied in your previous class in standard 6. Now you are going to plot rational numbers on the number line. Let's see rational numbers on the number line. How to plot rational numbers on the number line. Before starting, let me give you an example of proper fraction. We know that proper fractions are those in which numerator is less than the denominator. Numerator is less than the denominators. For example, if I write 3 upon 4, so this is the numerator and this is denominator. Numerator is less than the denominator. This is called as proper fraction. Now in this case, when we are talking about proper fractions where numerator is less than the denominator, such fractions exist between only 0 and 1, and as it is positive, so it is always going to come in between 0 and 1 onto the positive side, that we can say as right side. Now let's see how. So this is how we can find the rational, or we can plot the rational numbers on number line. This was the number. As we have denominator 4, we can divide 0 and 1 into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 upon 4, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 4, and this is 4 upon 4. We don't write 4 upon 4 because 4 upon 4 itself is 1. We can get our rational number over here. See, this is the rational number that is to be plotted on our number line. So in this way, this is just an example. We will see few more examples afterwards while solving the exercise. Now the last topic of our chapter, that is rational numbers between two rational numbers. Rational numbers between two rational numbers. There are infinite rational numbers between any two rational numbers. For example, if we have two rational numbers, that is minus 2 upon 5 and 1 upon 2, there are infinite rational numbers between these two numbers, these two rational numbers. How? Let's see. Let's make the denominator first common by making the denominator common method. So to make denominator common, I should multiply 5 by 2 and 2 by 5 so that my denominator becomes 10 on both the rational numbers. So if I am multiplying denominator by 2, to make it 10, I have to multiply my numerator with the same number. So minus 2 multiplied by 2 upon 5 multiplied by 2, and on the other side, if I am multiplying my denominator with 5, I have to multiply it with also numerator. So 1 multiplied by 5 and 2 multiplied by 5. So I got minus 4 upon 10, and here I got 5 upon 10. So now if I plot all these numbers on a number line, starting from minus 4 upon 10, minus 3 upon 10, minus 2 upon 10, minus 1 upon 10, 0, 1 upon 10, 2 upon 10, 3 upon 10, 4 upon 10, 5 upon 10. So these are the rational numbers between minus 4 and 5 upon 10. Or you can say as these are the rational numbers between minus 2 upon 5 and 1 upon 2. So my dear friends, I hope you have understood. If you have still any doubt, go through this video more than one time to clear your doubts. We'll meet again with the exercise of this chapter, solution of this exercise. All that points which I showed you, go through it, make all the points clear so that it will be easy for you to solve the exercise. All the points I have covered of this chapter. Best of luck.